It's Freestyle Friday!
Coming in hot with quick shots of inspiration on a variety of topics. Hey, I am so excited to introduce you guys to our guest today. This is my best friend, Kelly Pereira.
Hello.
You can find her on Instagram, Kells, yeah, that's KELLZ _YEA. How many H's are there?
HHH.
Yeah,
3.
you gotta do 3. Okay, so today I wanted to introduce you guys to my best friend because she has some good ass energy. And I wanna share with you guys how we met and kind of like a lesson in that. So Kelly, say hi to everyone.
Hello. Thank you so much, Sandy. This is so fun and so unexpected. So
I know. I literally
you.
told her, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have you be a guest on Getting Magnetic. She's like, what? She's staying with me right now. She lives in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, but she's here visiting me in Southern California. And she's one of the most supportive people ever. She's been super supportive of the podcast. She's been super supportive of any venture or thing I've really ever like strived for in my life. We've been friends for 7 years. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I want people to meet you and just feel your energy.
Oh, you're so sweet. It's honestly the easiest thing to be supportive of you because it's you do have a magnetic personality and it really does just bring everyone else up and, motivate everyone. So
thank you.
Amazing.
So before we dive into our story, can you share what does getting magnetic mean to you?
Oh gosh, I think putting out in the world what you want and just letting it, being open for it to come to you is absolutely getting magnetic.
Totally. So would you say that we got magnetic towards each other?
100%.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you set the stage. How did we meet?
Craigslist. Literally
Craigslist Kelly.
Craigslist. Yes. And I'll start by saying real quick, my mom kept telling me, this is like, 7 years ago, I wasn't happy with my living situation. My mom kept saying, you need to look on Craigslist. And I'm like, no, Mom, I don't want to meet some like weirdo. So finally I gave in, scrolled through like 4 pages and I'm like, no, I'm not going to meet anyone like this. And then came across Sandy's post.
And it's funny because at the time, this was in 2014, I think. I was 24. I owned a small business, a juice and smoothie bar franchise. So I'm like owning my own business. I'm like, doing my own thing, but I still lived with my dad. And I was like, okay, I need to like move out. I need to like start doing my own things. And I think, so Kel's 2 years older than me. So she was living with 2 other roommates and it just wasn't a great situation.
It was basically a frat house. They were girls, but it was a frat house kind of.
So she was ready for a change. And so I just happened to put the post out there and she just happened to respond. And now 7 years later, like we were both in each other's weddings. Like we FaceTime almost every single day. Like there is nothing we don't know about each other.
Okay, but you have to explain like what was in the post because it's pretty funny.
I'm going to let you break it down.
Okay, well, it was super intense. Like I said, I was in a house with 2 other girls, but really not my vibe. Sandy's post came across. It was everything like that I was looking for, but didn't know. It was so intense. Like must be health-minded, must be no alcohol, no drug. I mean, obviously I'm fine with, no drugs.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, well, I drink a cocktail here and there. Must be clean. I want to be friends with you. We don't have to be best friends, but I want to be able to go on walks with you and enjoy time with you.
It also said must be okay with loud country music playing.
Oh, yes.
I'm like just I've actually outgrown some of my OCD-ness, but I was like pretty hardcore about what I wanted. And it wasn't that I didn't want someone that drank alcohol. I was just setting the stage. Like by me being extreme, I was okay with like, of course I'd want to have cocktails with my roommate, but I didn't want to attract someone that was drinking every night or had a drinking issue. So I just said no tolerance on these things. And you still responded.
Right. And also I'm going to say my response was a little creepy. I literally wrote it out probably like 14 times, different ways. And then I think I ended up with like, hi, Sandy, my name's Kelly. And I saw your post and I think we're going to be perfect for each other. I don't know how I came up with that after 14, but I mean, I just went with it.
And then we met at a frozen yogurt spot to like meet each other. And we both had a list of questions of like I think we both separately Googled like questions to interview a potential roommate. And we're like coming and like interviewing each other with potential situations. We agreed on the spot. Dishes are never allowed in the sink more than 24 hours.
Rules. Yep.
I remember when we first moved in together, when I would like eat bananas, I'd throw the peel in the trash. And you like pulled me aside once. You're like, hey, like, it's great that you eat bananas and stuff, but I need you to put the peel like in a bag.
No flies.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, It was just super funny. But when I think back to that, so we ended up living together for 2.5 years. Actually, no, let's tell them like how so we got magnetic towards each other, but then let's tell them how we got magnetic towards where we actually lived.
Yes, yes. And Sandy was driving. I'll set the stage a little bit. Sandy was driving. We were driving down like the best street in Dana Point, and we just knew this is our street. Whatever it takes, this is our street. So take it from here.
So we're literally driving, and this is a street that overlooks the harbor. It's just so gorgeous. And we happened to come across this like duplex. It's like 4 units, and the bottom left unit, the window was open. It had like beautiful, amazing natural lighting. And there was someone inside like painting the kitchen, and there was no furniture in it. It looked vacant. We get out of the car, we walk up,
waving him down.
we're like, hello, we want to live here. And he's like, I'm just the painter. And we're like, no, we have great credit. We need to live here. Like, we're like telling this guy everything. And he's like, I can't give you the guy's phone number. And we're like, no, listen, you don't understand. We need to live here. Like, basically, we somehow convinced this guy. I think he loved our energy or something. He gave us the number of the guy that owns it. And we called him, and they ended up running our credit, and we did this whole application process. And we ended up getting the place, which was just so incredible. And we lived in this gorgeous 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It was perfect for us. We lived there for 2.5 years. And so, yeah, we got magnetic towards each other, and then we got magnetic towards the perfect place. And when I think through like that whole situation, it's kind of like when you're going through something, you're just kind of like going through the motions. But when I look back now, like hindsight 2020, like I feel like there's a huge lesson to be learned in it, is that like we just trusted the process. Like your mom was telling you to go on Craigslist. I didn't know where to find a roommate. Like I was like, I never would have expected what would have come out of it. And so I think the lesson is kind of just like, be open, like go with the flow. You never know how something really like ordinary, like finding a roommate on Craigslist, could literally change your life and like introduce you to so many people. Like, I don't know, just like bring in so much abundance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. And it was like the saddest day in the world when you moved out.
Oh my God.
But all for, bigger and better.
To go start a life with Wade in Boston.
I know.
And then after that, tell them where you live now, how you got to Colorado. Because that was all in Dana Point, California.
Yes. And I think that's also a magnetic, like intentional story as well. So actually, I do medical sales, and I was hired with my company in Orange County, San Diego. And it was going well. I had my mentor who was in Colorado with the company. She came out, she trained me. I went out to Colorado, did a training for 2 days there. And I, was writing down my 5-year plan, and I had a journal, and I kind of went through like all the things. And for some reason, when I got to like 5-year plan of where geographically I want to be, I wrote down Denver, which I never thought that I would ever leave Southern California, but somehow Denver slipped into that little journal.
Which is so funny because you don't have anyone that lives there that would have.
I have a friend, like acquaintances, but it was a feeling when I went to train there for 2 days. I just had this feeling when I was there. Yeah. And I'm not a skier, nothing like that. I don't know. So anyways, I think it was 2 months later, my mentor told me she was leaving, and she had a business, thriving business there. And it just was a great opportunity. And literally, I think it was 1 week, maybe 7-8 days, I moved to Colorado. I actually lived in her house with her family, still paid my lease back in Dana Point, and just figured it out from there and rolled with it. It was the best decision of my life.
So good. Remember when we drove out from California to Colorado together?
Oh, goodness.
And I had that terrible stomach bug. Oh my God.
It was an adventure in itself.
Remember when the car spun out and we almost got in that terrible accident?
We did.
We have been through some incredible, we have been through so much together. Like we have had the highest highs, and we've had some of the lowest lows. And we've just been there for each other through it all. And it's truly a sisterhood. Like it's like very hard to find something like this. And I'm grateful for it every single day.
I am too.
So share now, like what your life looks like now, like, and what you're most excited for.
Well, so I'm married now. My husband and I, we were actually long distance for 2.5 years. And
that's another getting magnetic story.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe for another time. Yeah. So he just moved out to Colorado about 6 months ago. He's in the building industry. He's doing consulting now. He's the most amazing human being on the planet.
Biggest heart ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a house. I bought a house 3 years ago in Colorado. He came out. Since he's in the building industry, it was kind of a right away automatic, let's tear down the house and start over.
Mm-hmm.
So we are down to studs right now, living in a studio apartment in downtown Denver again and loving life. And we are hoping to start a family in the next year.
We're believing for it.
Yep.
We're like soul sisters over
Yes,
here wanting to attract
absolutely.
babies in our bellies.
Yes. So
We're going to do it. Okay. So tell me, like, I don't know. I feel like you've lived a lot of life. You've been through a lot of things. When you think through, like, I don't know, a lesson that you've learned or something that's like really impacted you or something that like a listener could like really have a huge takeaway from, like what's something that just like, what's on your heart right now? What do you feel like you need to share?
Well, to be honest, I love my job. I love what I do. Sales, I'm competitive. And obviously when I moved to Colorado, that was extremely hard to just start all over from like nothing.
Yeah.
And I think the most important like lesson I learned in that moment from that time was in my mind, I had to tell myself failure is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's stressful. It was so hard, but bottom line, stress is not going to get me anywhere. What I needed to do was put my head down, get to work, and just know that there's greatness ahead and I just need to work towards it. Stop thinking about what's holding you back or what could hold you back and just move forward.
I love that.
And that's really, I mean, that's what I had to tell myself. And that's how I've gotten where I'm at. I mean, I love what I do and I've made a good business, you know, with that. And that's really what it
just comes down to trusting the process. Like with everything, how we became friends, how we like lived together, how you attracted Osiri, your husband, into your life. Like you just trusted the process all along the way.
I
feel like that's just a good lesson.
Be intentional every single day with what you do. I mean, if you're going to go into something, go in with it with a full heart, full intention going forward.
No half-ass, give the full ass.
Give the full ass.
Okay. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. And we're wishing you guys a freaking fantastic Friday.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Bye.
Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.
So remember, you are magnetic.